G'day. So this is going to be my next project. So it's going to be a mixture of Eurorack and microcontrollers. So about 5 years ago I built this Eurorack case, but I never got it finished. I got the power in it, I got the rails in it, but I never put the power bus in it. So I need to complete that. That shouldn't take too long. And then I can put Eurorack modules in it. You see one power supply module in there already that I can try it out with. But once I've got that Eurorack case, I'm thinking of making a Eurorack Midi controller, and I really like these orange Pi Zeros, so I'm going to try and build it on that. And it's got lots of I/O on it, so I think I can run Midi, maybe even some sort of control voltage controller from it as well. And some of the software I'll use for that, there's a thing called Python OPIMidi that can be used for controlling MIDI interfaces on a Python device. And also I want to use this NTS-1 from Korg. I'll mount it as a Eurorack module. I've seen other people do that, and they'll make a nice little MIDI controllable synthesizer that I can use to test things out with. So that's the main pieces I'm going to use in this project. I think probably the order I'll do it in is finish the Eurorack case, probably go over that in this video, get the power going. I think next thing I want to do is put together just a Eurorack synth module using that Korg device, so maybe that's the next video. Once those two are going, then I can sort of concentrate on the more complicated bit, which is using the orange Pi Zero and OPIMidi to set up a MIDI controller and be able to connect that into the synthesizer. That'll probably take a few videos to do that. And once I'm going on that, I'm probably make some other Eurorack modules down the road. So I needed to finish off the Eurorack case I'd first started building about 5 years ago. So it already had the power supply in it, takes main power supply, and then I already had a Synthetech tester Eurorack device, but I hadn't put together the Synthetech power bus to distribute the power, so I just needed to cut that up and solder it up and put it in the case. So first thing I need to do is cut down the length of the Eurorack power bus. It's a bit long for the case I've got, so I'm using this little miter and a KIF saw. So we'll just zoom through this. Took a little while to cut through it. I think we're almost there. Okay, I can feel it move there. Yep, that's it. So it looks nice straight edge there. So I need to solder on the components. I'm going to flip over the board to do that. To make that easier, I just mask down the components so they don't fall off when I turn the board over. Then it's just a matter of going through and soldering down all the components. And this is the Eurorack case all finished now, so the power supply is all wired up, and I've also connected the Molex connector to the completed board. I put in 5 actual connectors for Eurorack. I didn't need all of them filled in. And then you can see my test board here. When I turn on the mains power, you see all the rails are lit up, so everything's working. So I'm planning on using this Korg NTS-1 little digital synthesizer as a Eurorack module. It comes just as a little portable device first that you have to build, so let's build it first. So you see in here you get the main circuit board. It's interesting, it's got some header pins in there that will be useful for when I convert it to a Eurorack module as well. And then it has the various pieces that for the front panel and the back panel and the side panels. There's one big PCB, so you need to break those off and attach them to the actual circuit board when you build it. Just a closer look at the main circuit board, and there you can see the header pins up the top. I did trace the pins, so for all the audio and MIDI connections, they all go directly to the jacks. The voltage pins didn't seem to connect, so I'll probably have to do that off the USB. Okay, so let's build the kit. So again, for those header pins, I'll just put a right angle connector on that. So first you break apart the circuit board and little corner pieces on the main circuit board. Next you need to screw the side pieces together, so it's the flat aluminium pieces, and then the corner pieces need to be screwed together. So you use the little silver screws, so you need 4 of those for each side. So just screw all those together. Was a bit fiddly for my big fingers, but eventually went together pretty well. Just a note, they seem to give you some extra screws as well, so if you find a screw's not working, I just swap to a different one that might have had a better thread. So now you attach those side pieces to the base. In that case you're going to use the short black screws that came with the kit. So 4 of those need to be screwed in. And once the base attached, you also put together the rubber feet on the bottom. So that's the base done. So just putting together the top, so you can attach the keyboard, which just sticks on. So just take the sticky tape off the back, align it with the borders there, pull out the connector, and you can plug in the ribbon connector there. Then attach the front panel to the circuit board, and there's just some pins to align to do that. That was fairly simple. So that's enough synthesizer to work as a Eurorack module, so that's what I'll be using, but for testing it out I'll just put it in the base so I can test it out, make sure it's actually working before I start building the Eurorack pieces around it. So again, just screw that down with the black screws and put the front and back panels on just to make it look a little better. Use the silver screws to screw those down. So that should be it. Okay, let's check what I built, see whether it actually works. So first I need to plug it into some power, so I'm just using a USB power brick here. Oh, we got some words up, so that's a good sign. Lights are flashing, and we're in oscillator mode first, so let's see if we can change oscillator configuration. So I'm just changing it to triangle, square, so that all sounds good. It's coming from the internal speaker, so it's not going to be a marvellous hi-fi sound coming on this video. But I can change the cutoff and the resonance frequencies for the filter. That seems to be doing its job. So I want to check the envelope generator, so I should be able to change the attack speed, make it a bit softer. Yep. And let's look at the sound processors. We've got a reverb, delay, and other mods we can do. So first, test out the hall reverb. That seems to be making the right sounds. We've got a chorus, we can try that out. That seems to be doing the chorusy thing. And finally, let's try out delay. That seems to be doing delay things. So this is good. Nice thing about this is you can download programmable oscillators and sound processing, so you can add other effects if you want. And So when I change this into a Eurorack module, the main thing I'm probably going to be using is the sound processing. It has some nice effects with the reverb, delay, and other mods. And also it accepts Midi, so it'll be a good test when I put together my Midi controller using that orange Pi Zero to make sure it actually makes sounds, and it probably will sound a lot better than my playing on this little keyboard.